Welcome to Citizen McCain. We are so excited to have you all here today. Just a reminder to raise your digital hand if you want to ask me, Miranda, or our very exciting guest a question. If you're listening to the podcast and you want to join us on Zoom, you can register to do that at 2a.tv/Megan. And lastly, if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? YouTube.com/@Citizen McCain YouTube. Our guest is our guest here? Okay, so just really quickly before we let our amazing guest in, Miranda is live from Las Vegas. She's in Las Vegas right now. See the flamingo sign
I'm at the
behind her.
flamingo. Yes.
Yeah, which we had feelings about her being at the flamingo, but that's another conversation for another time. But we just want to say that we have our very exciting guest on, as we've announced, will soon be joined by none other than our friend Congressman George Santos. Miranda and I were so, as was I have to say, our entire team here on the show, our booker, Ashley, everyone who works with me. When we saw the announcement that he was being released from jail and coming back, we were all so happy, so excited. One of our favorite guests ever. So without further ado, let's let on our friend, former Congressman George Santos. Hello.
Hi, ladies. It's so good to be back with you guys. First of all, you look stunning. You should. You look stunning. Oh my God.
We were saying you look so good for just being released from prison. And just really quick, if people somehow don't know. Well, you looked, and we saw you on Fox and Friends. We were like, look at that like velvet suit. You look so amazing. But for people who don't know, our Congressman George Santos was pardoned by President Trump, and he was just released from jail less than 3 months into serving a 7-year sentence into federal prison after being convicted of wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. We have so much to get into with you. But just first and foremost, I mean, congratulations and welcome back. How are you feeling? Like, what has this been like the past just few days since you returned to, society out of being in prison?
Megan, it's been humbling. It's been challenging. I'm still in a state of shock. I'm doing all the interviews. I'm talking to everybody because so many people have these questions. And as I said the other day, I don't want the wrath and fury of rhetoric being targeted towards my former colleagues. This is my MO. This is my issue. This is my problem, not Senator Katie Britt, who was being grilled by Dana Bash yesterday on a segment right before mine. So I want people to understand, like, I'll take the tough questions. It's my road to redemption. It's my road. It's my mission. It's my path. But integration back into society just after 84 days has been not easy. I never thought I could relate even to when people say, oh, I was in prison for so many years and getting back home is a challenge. I was in prison for 84 days, 41 of those days in solitary confinement in the special housing unit. And I have to tell you, it's challenging. It's because you get used to losing the ability to move freely and to, I don't know, go to the bathroom and do things that you want to do in your own time, sleep when you want, wake up when you want, that I'm having a hard time sleeping through the night. I'm waking up during what is considered count time. And I'm like, this has to get out of my head. So this week I'm, doing all the interviews, but I'm also working really closely with my therapist and with my psychiatrist so I can get back on my meds that the BOP does not let you stay on. So just getting my mental health back into shape and going back out there and trying to be happy. I mean, as you can see, I have my macaws behind me, so sorry.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. You have your birds behind you.
See the bird.
It's fabulous. I love macaws, but I didn't even add those.
Hey, I'm Brazilian, so I have to have Brazilian birds, right?
Yes. Well, I just want to ask, we talk, you and I are friends, and we talked yesterday. I can't imagine the whole, I honestly, I was just talking to my producer, like, the idea of going to jail for me is literally one of my worst nightmares. When you first found out you were going, obviously I'm sure you were scared and panicked because I saw an interview you did with Tucker Carlson where you said so. But when you actually got into jail, only share what you're comfortable with. And I'm really grateful you're even taking time right now because, like I said, you're just so newly back into society. But can you just illuminate us? Because I have no idea what prison's like, just what the experience of being put in prison was like.
Megan, Miranda, it was, and to all of you listening, it was not fun. I cried every single night. Let me make this very clear. I'm not embarrassed
I would too.
I'm a crybaby. So I cried myself to sleep every night because it was tough. But most importantly, it's a harsh environment. You lose every sense of freedom, right? You think of the Constitution and your rights, right? Your First Amendment rights, your Second Amendment rights, and every other right we have are granted by our Constitution. You have none of that there practically. It's essentially a dehumanizing process meant to break you, not rehabilitate you. And that's why we need to make changes, because we're making people angrier in prison. Hence why recidivism is so high. You have people who are supposed to be doing their job as rehabilitators that are not doing that. They're just not the right fit for the type of job. I'm not saying pat prisoners in the head, because there's a lot of people who have killed, who have, mass murder that are in prison, but they're not every prisoner is there for the same reason. Everybody has a walk of life. I learned so much in such a small amount of time, especially by being in isolation and treated like literally a murderer for 41 days, denied visitation with my family, denied phone calls with my family, absolutely bare minimum, horrendous treatment, from basic human rights to basic sanitation rights to basic hygiene rights. So it's an awful place. So my first walk into it was into the camp, the satellite camp over at FCI Ferreton in South Jersey. Imagine a big rundown summer camp that you never wanted to go to, but your parents forced you to go every year. But now imagine it absolutely run down, mold all over the ceilings, the bathroom absolutely in disarray. When I say disarray, listeria, ringworm. These are a few of the things that run rampant, and you have to be careful so you don't contract it. So it's like when I was writing that the bathroom is a place you go in with flip-flops and a little bit of prayer and hope you don't catch anything. I mean that. And in no circumstance should the federal government be operating an institution in those conditions. And that was traumatic. Hygiene, eating expired food. Yes, FCI Ferreton puts expired food on the plates of federal inmates under their care. I mean, I joined the kitchen to cope. My coping mechanism was I arrived day one. It's a working camp. You need to find a job. I saw there was a cooking kitchen element to it. I'm an entertainer. I love cooking and I love feeding. That's my love language to people. I said, is there a job in the kitchen? I started second day, I was already in the kitchen. I hadn't even gotten my medical paperwork approved, but I was so eager to do it. The CEO was like, you know what? You're a congressman. I'm pretty sure you can work a kitchen, So I was in the kitchen right off the go. I was cooking. I was trying to make the cooking process and even enhancing it so that it was a more wholesome experience as far as food goes. But then you're slapped in the face with like opening a box of like, imagine chicken patties that are going to be, put in a burger, in a sandwich and make a chicken sandwich that was expired a year ago. And then when you bring that up, you're like, well, it was frozen, so it kept. I'm like, it's not how this works.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's really not.
No, it's not how this works. Best by dates are, in their mind, suggestive. So when I tell you there's a lot of actually wrong things that they do, and inmates know this because other inmates were the ones cooking, right? So we talk to one another. That makes them angry. Why are we making people angry instead of trying to give them dignity and show them dignity so that they can rehabilitate? I went to FCI Ferreton and not FCI Danbury because they said on their website they had a dog training program, and I said this would be great for my mental health. Well, guess what? I got there and discovered that it's a sham, and the dog program was shut down 10 years earlier, but they still advertise it. So
can I ask you, one of the things that shocked me that got a lot of attention on social media, I don't know if you know this, was when I believe it was Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, tweeted that you were in solitary confinement. And I was actually shocked by that because, and again, I'm not an expert in this field, but you think of solitary confinement of people who are like murderers, rapists, like very hardened, awful people. Why were you put in solitary confinement, and what was that experience like?
So I had started diarying in my column for the South Shore Press in New York the experience of being in prison. And within that, as you know me, Meghan, I hold no bars. I call shots like I see them, even at my own detriment. And to my detriment, I was criticizing the administration on all of their, poor administrative duties and their dereliction and thereof of the way they administer the facility. So long story short, a recycled death threat from 2023 resurfaced over at Project Veritas, and they sold it to the public as something new. Although Capitol Police had investigated it, found it to not be credible, and the source of the story, a completely disqualified, discredited person, but they still ran with it, and then it became an active death threat from the outside, and a slanderous one at that, because if you look and see this article in the media, Project Veritas is saying that some very high caliber, high profile individuals in American politics and society are plotting to murder me in federal custody, which makes no sense. They had a
Why would
whole
anyone I mean, that doesn't
break
sound right.
into prison to kill someone, right? When they had an entire 2 years prior of a public calendar and agenda that they could have easily done it.
You were all over the place. Yeah, it's not like you were.
I wasn't hiding, right, Miranda? Like, so that's my point. So this comes up. The warden sees it as a perfect opportunity to, oh, great, you're going to be pulled out of circulation. I'm put into the ag seg or special housing unit, whichever way you want to call it, or as commonly known, SHU, in a 9x6 cell that I couldn't stretch my arms wide open without touching both sides of the wall and not getting a full stretch, with a double bunk and a toilet and my sink attached to the top of my toilet, with metal and rust sediments settling at the bottom of my paper cup every time I needed to drink water. So this is my environment. The person in the cell next to me was a murderer who had taken the life of another inmate while in custody with a pencil. That's
God.
On its own. It's all other insanity. And the warden gaslit me by saying, this is protective custody, it's for your safety. But I received the same exact punitive losses and privileges as somebody who was there for disciplinary custody, like the person who committed murder. So I could only call.
How long were you in that protective custody cell?
41 days by myself. No human interaction, no ability to shave, showering 3 times a week only, using recycled underwears from other inmates, to the point that they would come with stains.
When you say recycled, that means unwashed?
Well, washed, but
rinsed,
like used.
Yeah, used, yes. So, I mean, all of these things happening, I can only contact my family once every 30 days for 15 minutes. My family had a visit set up. They showed up, drove 3.5 hours each way to go see me, got there and were denied. So, and then when they finally got to see me on day 37 of confinement, the way that they conducted the visit was I was wearing shackles, a belly chain, my wrist cuffed to my chain, and foot chains. So behind
is that unusual?
For me,
he's not a murderer. He never physically harmed anybody.
I had 0 custody points. That's why I was in a camp. I never had a violation. I never broke the rules. I never broke the procedures, protocols, or anything. But I was an outspoken critic. So they literally dehumanized me in a way where it was beyond comprehension. And then when they saw that stamps was going to be the way to silence me, they stopped selling me stamps, because I was sending out the letters. So they stopped selling me stamps under the guises that they ran out. So I had to barter with other inmates in ag who didn't really need the use of stamps, and have people out here send money to their commissary so I can get their stamps. I mean, I bought a book of stamps for $50, but I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with that, because my voice was not going to be silenced by a corrupt warden. That's what I kept holding on to.
What I understood when we spoke yesterday was that there was going to be an opportunity for you potentially to testify in front of Congress about these prison conditions and the fact that you were in solitary confinement. And I think one thing that's so horrifying but also important about your story is this isn't just about you. There are other prisoners who are not former Congress people, who are not friends with a bunch of famous politicians and people in media advocating on their behalf, who the president doesn't know their name. Is this kind of corruption, and again, I do not mean to sound naive, this just isn't the beat I normally cover. Is this common, and can anything be done to reform it? Because I agree with you, like there are some people that are like hardened, disgusting, horrible monsters that should be in prison forever. Murderers, rapists, anything having to do with children. Then there are the other people that make mistakes and other people that screw up and end up in jail and do not have the same opportunities that Miranda and I have and everybody else. And I agree with you that putting them in positions where they're eating stale food and being exposed to mold and diseases and ringworm, like that,
Bugs
we
and
have to
rats.
treat people like humans. I agree with you. So what do you think can be done? And do you think the warden who did this to you is aware that now the entire American public knows what happened to you?
Oh, she's aware. I'm going to give you a little anecdote about the warden. The warden said there was no money in the budget to do the vent duct cleaning for the essential AC and air and heat. But she did find budget in space in her budget to buy an 85-inch TV for her private office at the cost of thousands of dollars. If I'm not mistaken, the price given to me by a whistleblower CO, it was $7,000. The cleaning of the ducts before she turns on the heater would have cost $3,500, and she said there was no budget. So they just turned on the heater and blasted everything that was in the duct on us inmates. So this is the kind of environment. And yes, there are a lot. When I say this, Meghan, I'm privileged. I'm not going to sit here and ponder and pontificate like I'm not. I'm privileged. I know politicians. I know people in media. I am friends with people who helped me not allow my voice to be silenced. Marjorie Taylor Greene was a godsend to my family. I mean, she was a literal counselor for my husband, for my sister. And God, I need to name one of my kids Marjorie at this point. And the other one, Donald. There's like no way around it. But the most important thing is there's a lot of people in there who don't have that privilege. People who made honest mistakes that, or were forced into poor choices granted their circumstances. I mean, look, you look at inner city Detroit, you look at inner city Chicago, you look at the Bronx. I mean, Washington, D.C., we are creating an environment of failure. So people are prone to make poor choices to survive. And then they're thrown in prison and treated inhumanely. They don't have a voice like I did. They don't have the support system I had. So that's why I want to be that support system. I think we need to revisit how we do jail in this country, how we do prison. If we're not going to put them in prison to reform them and reintegrate them back into the communities, we are creating monsters. That's literally what we're doing. That's why recidivism, if you look at it, and if you look at the studies, they go in for a minor charge, they come out so angry, they commit bigger offenses and bigger, and it compounds on. And that's the doing of the Bureau of Prisons. Not, I'm saying necessarily because of the director, but because of poor administrators like Warden Kelly and Assistant Warden Noble from FCI Ferreton out in Jersey.
Well, there's a lot of good people, Jared Kushner, Kim Kardashian, Van Jones, who've been really blowing the horn on this for a long time. It's one of the things I think is like Kim Kardashian's really doing great with her platform. So clearly there's enough people that agree with you. And I do think, I don't care what these people have done. I mean, again, I'm going to take pedophiles, rapists, and murderers out of this, but any other person, like, you shouldn't be exposed to black mold and things that are going to kill you and again make you, like you said, even angrier than before. You just brought up Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, other people that were advocating for you, Rachel Duffy from Fox News, obviously her husband's the transportation secretary, we love her, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz. There's a lot of people like us, yes, but we're not. We're not members of Congress.
I'm going to toot our horn all day long. We've been saying since before you went in, free.
Well, I need to have a soccer team of children so I can hit one after all of you guys.
Twins, Meghan and Miranda. No, but one thing I want to say is it's not that I condone criminal behavior, but I also I believe in second chances. I believe in redemption arcs. We are Christians. We believe in forgiveness. We think people can turn their lives around. I think this is an incredible opportunity for you to advocate for all the things that you're saying. But who were the people that really helped you the most when you were in prison to, again, advocate to the president for your release?
I mean, Meghan, I would be remiss if I didn't say everybody. From Ed Martin to you guys and my friends in media like you guys, my friends, my former colleagues and friends in the House, the people in the administration, and just really anyone on social media, from the person on social media with 5 followers who were everybody. It was a team effort from my supporters to my friends, my family, my legal team, and my partners in media, my former colleague, everybody. It was a team effort. I can say this above all of you, God worked.
Yeah.
Because I say this, the day before I got commuted, I went to confession with a visiting priest. I confessed. I took communion. I participated in the Catholic Mass. It was a really, it gave me great resolve. I woke up so sober on Friday, and it just felt so great. And Friday evening, I was going home to my family. To ignore that and say, oh, it's a coincidence, Jesus, God had nothing to do with it, is ignorant. I'm not a holier than thou person. I'm not trying to pontificate or act like, a born again Christian. I'm just saying my experience. And to ignore that is disingenuous to God. It's disingenuous to what I believe in. And most importantly, it would diminish all the effort that everybody put into it. So I can't pinpoint to one person, but I can say this: each individual people had different roles, whether it was supporting and comforting my family. Like you said, Rachel Campos was amazing to my husband. I just sat with her yesterday, and I sat with her today again for Fox Noticias. And again, she's an incredible human being. I love her. I love Sean Duffy. I mean, the man's juggling two massive jobs, right? Transportation secretary, and last I checked, NASA administrator.
I know.
Who else can do that?
And they have like 3 million children.
Yeah, and like
that
and
kids.
soccer team of kids. Yeah. It's amazing.
Can I ask you, this is actually something a friend of mine yesterday that I told her that I was interviewing you. She wanted to know if you'd experienced any violence in prison, and what was it like? And I hope that's an okay question. And what your experience was with the community of people that I assume you made friends and got to know in prison.
So look, it's funny. Two inmates that were there with me were former senator from New Jersey, Bob Menendez's co-defendants.
Wow. Okay.
I got to know them. I mean, look, we can have all the opinions, and I got to know them as human. Forget their transgressions, forget everything that happened. My former campaign employee is still there, Sam Mealy, which I think is a great injustice and unequal, I guess, disbursement of justice, because my treasurer got probation. I got 7 years, but I got commuted, and he's still there. And he had absolutely no pendencies other than the fact that he wouldn't cooperate against me with the DOJ. So they decided to lambast him. And I told President Trump that, and I hope that I can help Sam at bare minimum, get commuted so he comes back to his family for the holidays. But most importantly, Meghan, is I did see violence. I didn't experience violence. I'm not a violent person, and I try to be a peacemaker and de-escalating tensions. So I'm kind to people. I mean, I got along with the toughest tough guys in there. Guys who have been in prison for years were like bubbly with me. So it was this. I have this uncanny ability to do that, but I did see violence. But there's a problem. The prison system is so broken and under bad leadership, at least in this institution, that there is a deterrent in reporting violence. Because if an inmate is suffering violence or sexual harassment against them and they report it, the solution for the prison is to put them under, guess what? Protective custody. Where do they end up? Isolation in the shoe for being the victim. So it's a very backward system. They don't take the perpetrator, they take the victim and put them into protective custody to then investigate the perpetrator. So it's a very, very upside down environment, at least at FCI Ferriton. I want to talk to other people, and I've been speaking to other people who have gone to prison since I've come out. A lot of the J6ers have reached out to me to tell me, I'm so glad someone like you experienced it, because now we can share notes and we can talk about it, and we can all work together to do prison reform. And no one better than the J6ers to know about solitary confinement, because a lot of them sat in it for 2-3 years. So again, I'm putting aside their transgressions and whatever it is we can agree to disagree on, and talking about the way they were treated, right? So I think it's a great opportunity to have these conversations for reform. And that's why the moment the president called me 2 days ago, that was the first thing out of my mouth is, thank you, sir, but I really want to get involved with prison reform. And I think it's a great cause for the Republican Party to engage in, because we haven't been great on it. So
what did he say when you said that?
I love that. We'll work on something. So,
Great.
you
And
know,
Good.
he's the one who sat with Kim Kardashian in his first term and
Yeah.
helped release
Alice Johnson, yeah,
Alice Johnson. Thank you. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember her last
who was
name.
very involved and very
Yeah.
compassionate. Rick Rennell and Alice Johnson played a major role, especially Alice Johnson being the pardon czar. Really, it's like a team, Alice, Ed, and all of these guys. And Rick and I had a great conversation. And again, all these people came together so well. And it's just a humbling
Can I
experience.
ask you, why do you think, and I just want to give people context, you were sentenced to 87 months, but your sentence was very out of step with other people who had comparable cases. Just for context, former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. was sentenced to 30 months in prison for misusing $750,000 in campaign funds. Representative Michael Grimm was sentenced to 8 months for concealing $900,000 in wages. Obviously, I think part of the reaction was that it seemed so politically motivated. Like there was obviously some politics at play. Why do you think so many people, like when we announced on social media we're having you on, there's obviously people that are negative and haters. That always happens. But I don't like bullshit. I don't like people being targeted for their political beliefs, no matter what it is. Why do you think so many people were really rooting for you? Because again, you did commit crimes that you have copped to. You have said, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life and I want to atone and do better. That's fantastic. Why do you think that so many people were rooting for you?
Well, look, I wish every politician, whenever they were called out for their BS, would do what I did. I sat with Tulsi Gabbard, and she wasn't easy. Remember?
No, she was. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I think we all remember that moment, the Tulsi Gabbard moment.
We interviewed him on Fox. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The cocking of the head, and really, I mean, I had nightmares of that for a while.
Oh no.
I would have nightmares of Tulsi Gabbard going, really?
She's an intimidating person.
She's a straight
She is.
straight
Yeah.
shooter, and I'll give her that. And she has integrity. So I don't blame her. I was in the wrong. So, it's just saying, and the receiving end, it sucks. But look, I did my best to be as straightforward, even when I was wrong, even when I was caught on my BS. Bullshit is bullshit. You got to cop to bullshit. If you're caught bullshitting, cop to it. Don't play the Dick Blumenthal game. Don't play all these other games that people play of obfuscating, because it will catch up with you. And I decided to just be like, you know what? Let's just go out there, pull the Band-Aid. Sorry. Now I just want to make a very quick observation, since you bring up these other people. A lot of folks love to say and inflate that I defrauded millions of dollars. First of all, it's not true, but not even close to true. If we're looking at what was in play here, 85% of the quote lost dollars that I had to pay back, according to Merrick Garland's DOJ, was to the NRCC, the National Republican Congressional Committee, who I didn't take money from them. They essentially paid for polling, ads, and TV stuff to the tune of, I think, $220,000. And the DOJ under Merrick Garland said it was under false pretenses that I was given that investment, although the pretenses of that was simple. A person is campaigning and is polling ahead in their internal pollings. We invest this bare minimum to push them over the finish line and win.
And you won.
And I won. So I like to correct that record, because a lot of people have this impression because of people who are out there slandering me. Now, it's okay. I have critics, Meghan. You have critics. We all.
Do I mean,
yeah,
join the club.
let me tell you.
Look at our Instagram comments sometimes.
I know.
We have critics. I pray for my critics. I know people like Congressman Lolota from New York, Congressman Garbarino, Lawler, and Malliotakis are upset at me. I hurt them. I cause them grief. I cause them political equity. I cause them all this chaos in their life. So I understand why they're upset at me. I understand why they're mad. And I would be too. The only thing I can say to them is really, truly, I'm sorry. And I really am sorry. And I don't want to just say it. I want to prove I'm sorry by my actions moving forward. And, I wish them well. They're conservatives. They believe in what I believe in. We might agree to disagree on the fine tuning of certain little things. But at the end of the day, I can't allow hate, vengeance, and this revenge tour that people are expecting of me to take over my life, because it's a poison, and I don't want that poison in my life. So I let them do their thing. You know what? I fought really hard and will always fight for the First Amendment rights to everybody, and I will fight it to make sure that people can even trash me. So there we
Well,
have.
can I ask you, you went on CNN yesterday with Dana Bash, which, fine, whatever. But I was put off that she asked Senator Katie Britt about your case because Senator Katie Britt has nothing to do with any of this. And also, if we all want to like play this game, Hunter Biden was not only pardoned for past crimes, but he's pardoned for potential future crimes, which I still don't even understand how that's legal. I don't understand how that passes any kind of smell test. Like he has a blanket pardon that basically like Hunter Biden can commit any crime he wants and it's going to be okay. Dr. Fauci is another person that
someone
was.
if he wanted to.
I don't know the deep legalities of it, but I know that there was not the kind of outrage that I would have anticipated because his dad was president. Dr. Fauci, I still have many questions. I think he should be brought in front of Congress and answer a lot of very hard questions. I don't get that anymore because President Biden pardoned him. So like, I find the hypocrisy of this a little like entertaining as well. What do you say to people, like I said, like, and again, I know you did an interview with Dana Bash yesterday, which is fine, whatever, but she was she had a lot of like, she seems very pearl clutchy shocked that your sentence was commuted. And I don't really remember the same kind of energy and outrage with Hunter Biden.
I mean, I question her on that. I'm like, I don't recall anybody being, oh, there was outrage. I'm like, really? A couple of your colleagues needed to write books, and and I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
But the reality is, it's. I refuse. I felt so bad sitting in that studio in the Hudson Yards, looking at the segment before me as Senator Katie Britt is being absolutely attacked as if she had anything to do. I never met the senator. I think she's a great conservative, a great fighter for the state of Alabama. And I was just like shocked that Dana Bash.
It was weird. Yeah, I agree.
Strange. It was just very strange. And that's why I proceeded to put out the release saying, please direct your questions to me.
Sure.
Please come to me. Don't badger United States senators that I've never met or my former colleagues with this. This is what this is about. This is my road. This is my story. I am more than willing to take tough questions. And I'll say this, I think people just need to stop with the pearl clutching faux political theater. Let's just stop with the rhetoric and let's just get the work done. I'd love to see Dana Bash ask somebody like Senator Britt or even Schumer about reopening the government and getting people their paychecks. I would love to see the dysfunction end. I would love to see that the rhetoric takes a backseat in the news and they talk about real solutions. But unfortunately, as we know it, cable news is partisan, and depending on which channel you tune into, you're going to get your partisan slice of TV.
And just a reminder, if you want to ask me, the Congressman Santos or Miranda, a question, to raise your digital hand. Can we have a little bit of fun? We want to know like just some of the like, the normal things. What's the first food you ate when you were released?
Sushi, because I ate it barely dead.
Was it like nice sushi? Like how? Yeah.
What'd you order? Where'd you
where'd you
go?
I did a hamasake course. So we sat down, my husband and I, my attorney and two friends, and we just did a 16 course of
my gosh, amazing.
When I say the fish was barely, I was so done with processed food, and I was so done with.
I'm sure.
And I was like, I need to know that this was alive not too long ago, and it was fantastic. Sushi was it.
Was there anything
what did I order?
Like about?
Yeah.
So you said, what did I order? So we had these really cool giant prawns that were part of the service. We had, it was so yummy. We had my favorite, which is white tuna and yellowtail. I mean, it braised and caramelized. It's just so good. It was so good to eat actual food again.
I'm sure. What was the first thing you did, like beauty-wise, when you came back?
That's so funny. I walked in my house, went straight to the shower. I was able to take a shower without flip-flops, which is a big deal for me.
How long was your shower? How long was it?
It was an hour. I mean, every essential oil, every scrub, every shampoo treatment.
You're like, I am so good.
I mean, I did a Borghese mud mask. I shaved. I had this awful big beard. It was like nuts. I did this amazing Borghese mask. I did toning, and then I just lathered a thick layer of La Mer on my face and went to sleep.
Yes. Like, I want to see a picture of this beard. Will you text us a picture of the beard, please?
There was no picture, honestly, because I'm in prison.
Just for posterity's sake.
I didn't want a reminder. My husband was so traumatized by having it engraved in his mind that I didn't have a reminder of it.
Okay,
so
that's
it was
fair.
really bad. But I will say this, I'm still rocking a prison haircut.
Okay.
It looks good.
Yeah, you look.
You
You were
look
saying
good.
you look so
I
nice.
mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of hair product, but it's so bad. I need to go to my hairdresser.
Your teeth still look so white. I'm like,
Well, I was really dedicated to brushing my teeth, but they
Mhm.
didn't sell us floss because floss is, I guess, a hazardous material. So
oh,
I flossed
yeah.
a lot when I got home too. That was actually funny. I was like, I need to get in between these right now. It's like hilarious. I mean, I did everything I had in the house essentially. Imagine when you just like which perfume you wear and you wear all of them. I just did all the beauty things I could do.
How is your husband doing, and how is it for him? How has this been? That you
He,
coming back?
he hasn't properly slept because he watches me sleep because he's still struggling. Like you're home. Like he's like really shocked. My sister calls me like every 20 minutes, like, oh my God, you're answering your phone. My dad saw me, and my dad's 62 years old and he had a hard time. Like I'd never seen my dad cry until just yesterday. And it's weird. Like, my dad's a tough guy, pretty rigid, no nonsense. And he beat the crap out of me as like not physically, but beat down on me really bad when I got in trouble. He's like, you know better. We taught you better. You were raised better. And it's very tough when you disappoint a parent like that. My mom, I unfortunately lost her 9 years ago this year. And
Sorry.
I look at it in such a way where seeing my dad cry was just absolutely heartbreaking for me. I mean, it's been an emotional journey with family wise. Every friend that comes through my door, it's tears. Like it's tears of joy, of emotion. It's like the house has been a revolving door. I feel like I'm like in one of those revolving doors in a hotel. It's just like everybody's coming by, driving 2-3 hours to come see me, and I'm just like so humbled because I'm not in New York right now. I came to my Pennsylvania place to make sure I can kind of like whoosah, like and just breathe. But yeah, it's a journey.
What have you been able to binge any TV shows or movies, anything you missed that you were like, oh my gosh, I've got to watch this immediately?
No, I have not watched TV yet because I'm scared of turning on the TV and seeing some negative thing about me. So I already have a list of things I want to see. So I need to see Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
I need to see I Know What You Did Last Summer because I hear Jennifer Love Hewitt is so back. So, like there's so much to do.
We can send you a list. Don't worry. We got
there you go.
Yeah.
I did read 26 books in 41 days while I was in the shoot.
Wow.
So I mean,
that's that list. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I have useless knowledge. I became an expert, I guess, on the Mongol Empire.
Oh, good for you. You're like, okay. Do you mind, Congressman, doing some like news of the day with us? I know like you're not totally caught up, but one of the things when we were talking in our meeting that we would love to ask you, I really have to get your hot take on this. So I don't know if you know this, you maybe do. Vice President Harris came out with a book, 107 Days. It's actually selling very well, but it's very angry and juicy. And one of the things she said in it was that she decided not to choose Mayor Pete as her running mate because she didn't think America could handle a gay man as vice president. This is the quote. We were already asking a lot of America to accept a black woman married to a Jewish man. Part of me wanted to say, screw it, let's just do it. But knowing what was at stake, it was too big of a risk. And I think Pete also knew that, to our mutual sadness. Mayor Pete did come out and seemed shocked and quite frankly appalled and said he gives the American people more credit. Do you think she's right that we can't have a gay vice president at any point?
I mean, look, I'm just going to say this to you as the first openly gay Republican elected to Congress. Nobody cares. I think that's
nobody cares.
Nobody cares. And by the way, I am in many, many years, I forgot the length time, but I actually am one of the last Republicans, if actually technically the last Republican to win majority female vote in New York State. So stop with the pearl clutching. America does not care about your bed partners, does not care about your religion, your skin color. They care about your competency. Kamala was incompetent, and that's why she lost. It had nothing to do with who her running mate was, although Tim was not the best option of her roster. She had so many competent Democrats that could have been. I mean, I can't say that without saying Josh Shapiro would have probably saved her ticket. I'm partially happy that she didn't choose Josh Shapiro. It might have been, somewhat of a challenge for like a better, I guess, layup. But the reality is she was incompetent. But she's, as somebody who has failed and who has ate humble pie, I'm willing to accept my wrongdoings, my incompetency, my chaos, my detriment. And I really hope that Vice President Kamala Harris can do the same for her. I think this is an awful thing for the book. I think it's an awful thing for America to now be called homophobic. I mean, she alludes in that one statement you just read me, she alludes Americans are racist, sexist, anti-Semitic, and homophobic. And I'm sorry, I'm appalled, and I concur with Pete. We don't agree on a lot, but I concur that I think much better of my fellow Americans and Kamala Harris does, unfortunately.
Yeah, in the video, he seemed to be like, now why am I in this? Like, well, I have nothing to do with you losing. We have to ask you about the New York mayoral race. Obviously, we know you don't live in New York City, but you live in New York. What do you think of Mamdani taking over? And have you ever met Curtis Sliwa?
No, I'm not a fan of Curtis Sliwa. I've never taken him serious as a politician. But I would rather 10 Curtis Sliwas over Mamdani. And just a little correction, I do live in Queens County, so I am a—
I apologize. Yes, I'm so
you're
sorry.
Fine. Yes. So a lot of people associate me to Long Island. I'm actually from Queens. I live in Queens. And don't apologize, because I know everybody associates George Santos, Long Island congressman, but I did represent a slither of Queens where I live in. I'm not a carpetbagger.
Can we get your reaction to that very viral—
Oh, yeah, sorry. We wanted to show you this viral Curtis Sliwa, if you don't mind. Sorry, we have this clip for you. Really quick, number one, please.
Of the month, probably.
Get somewhere fast and you can't take the train. Do you hail a taxi? Do you use rideshare? Mr. Sliwa, what do you do?
I try to avoid yellow cabs. As you know, I was shot in the back of a yellow cab in 1992 by the Gottis and Gambinos. But I'd find my way around. If I have to, I Uber if I can't get there by mass transit.
What do you do, Mr.?
I was talking about the cannabis one, but that's okay.
Sorry. He talks about how he smokes pot because he was shot. And again,
he was shot 5 times.
He was shot 5 times, but he is, I lived in New York for a long time, but he's not a good, like, representative of Republicans, and no offense
Saturday
to him,
Night
but
Live fodder, but
look, I think of Curtis Sliwa. I'm actually surprised he's not wearing the red beret. That's
oh my God,
let's start there. Number 2, I think Andrew Cuomo is the most self-aggrandizing horror I've ever
I know.
Life. He sees Trump had a comeback, and he has to have his at the detriment of New Yorkers. If he truly loved New York City as he claims to love New York City, he would have dropped out a long time ago. I think Curtis Sliwa, before I went to prison, I said he should have dropped out. I still believe Eric Adams could have won if it was up to him and Mamdani. Mamdani is an existential threat to New York City. With a budget of $118 billion a year, you are going to give it to an unqualified child, Nepo baby, who is completely anti-Semitic, with no questions, who hangs around with the unindicted co-conspirators of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, and to add insult to injury, has rounded his entire campaign around Islam. I mean, I'm not trying to be Islamophobic or anything, but hey, this is New York City. I don't think this is the message we deserve. 9/11 much. So I'm not accusing him of being a terrorist. I just don't think he's the guy. And I have tons of friends in media. Even a good friend of mine is Nomiki Konst, who is a big liberal, is campaigning for him. And I'm like beside myself, like, Nomiki, what are you doing? I love you. Please don't campaign for him. Anyone but him, you know. But unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have Mayor Mamdani. And my husband said, if we get Mayor Mamdani, we are getting out of New York by December 31st, because we don't want to know what New York City under Mayor Mamdani is going to look like.
Do you know where you'll go?
We have the Pennsylvania place for now, and then at that point everything looks beautiful.
Florida, like everybody else.
You know what? My hair is too fine and frizzy for Florida humidity.
I just feel like all the Republicans migrate to Florida. We have one more fun topic for you, and then we have a question from one of our listeners, viewers, whatever. So we got in a lot of trouble, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, because I said that Jennifer Lopez was not a favorite guest of mine when she was on The View. She just wasn't. She wasn't very friendly. She wasn't very nice. And compared to like some other major celebrities I've met, Kim Kardashian being one of them, loveliest lady, clearly knows that, like, she has to be nice to people because that's where her celebrity comes from. So I don't know if you know this, because again, you were incarcerated. Jennifer Lopez's new movie, Kiss of the Spider Woman, is now a historic bomb at the box office. During its opening weekend, it made $850,000 domestically. It has a $35 million budget. That's obviously a very popular, show from the 80s. This is supposed to be a big comeback. She's pushing for an Oscar race. Why can't Jennifer Lopez pull it together in terms of her career? Because this is like bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. And she's obviously very talented.
This is an insurance fraud scam, whatever. I think this needs to be investigated, because how can you have
movie?
No. Overall, like these last 5 huge budget, just tank bombs. Like,
look,
these movies are insured. There is no way this isn't a scam. I can't.
I'm going to say this. I'm not a big fan of Jennifer Lopez, even though her mother was a constituent of mine. They're residents.
Oh.
They're residents of Manhasset, Nassau County. I don't know that they would vote for me, but here's my take. I've met J-Lo's makeup artist before, and she's an absolute wench, from what I've learned from.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, not just that. I think we can judge a person based on how they treat themselves and the type of way they conduct themselves. I mean, the woman's been back and forth with men her entire career, and it's a selection of an interesting kind of like circus selection. I'm not trying to judge her based on that, but I think if all these men, it can't be them. It's like, it just can't. I refuse to be this person who dumps it all. It's all the guy's fault. But all these guys were so horrible, and she's a saint. Nah, I don't know about that. Look, and another thing is, I think the last time J-Lo was remotely entertaining when she was acting was when she did Selena, which she did a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah.
But if we look past that, what was it, Giggly, when she did it with Ben Affleck, whatever that movie was?
I liked Hustlers. I did like that movie.
I liked Hustlers. I liked Monster-in-Law.
Monster-in-Law was funny, but because she was with Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda conducts you and instructs you on how to be a good actress. J-Lo is not a commanding actress.
Oh, The Wedding Planner. That was cute.
No, it wasn't.
That shit came out when we were in high school. It's a long time ago.
But it's like...
J-Lo is a great supporting actress. Maybe she can go for a supporting actress role Oscar instead of trying to get an Oscar for herself. Look, if Demi Moore couldn't do it for Thing or whatever, J-Lo's a great entertainer on stage. And I agree with you. I don't think she's a great person, Meghan. And you're a great judge of character. I've learned that from you throughout the years. If you don't like her on The View, I trust your judgment.
People were so mad. Our clip exploded everywhere, and I was like, she was not, because she wasn't. And again, I'll stand by that. She was not that nice.
With 40 people, and she screamed at some guy on your crew.
She
just had a giant entourage, but again, I guess whatever. But then there's people that come on that I think Kim Kardashian had 2 people with her. Anyway,
here's how I measure a person who has call it an entourage or a staff, right? I'm the kind of person that if one staffer of mine is sick and we're on a trip, we're not leaving until we figure out how to bring you with us. The story that circulated around that Jennifer Lopez had taken to Dubai.
And he died.
The hairdresser that also is, if I'm not mistaken, Kendall Jenner.
Kylie
Jenner, makeup
he got
artist.
sick, right?
Yeah, he got sick. She packed and left him, and the kid died. What kind of person hires you, takes you, and leaves you and literally to die, and then not even offer the family support? Because Kylie Jenner is the one who transferred the body back to America, helped the family with the burial, and helped them because of his income loss. So I think that says a lot about a human being. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to agree with Miranda. I think an investigation into it, because it is true. There are insurances on these movies, and it is a multi-million-dollar insurance industry associated to it, and it can very much be fraud.
Yeah, Chris raised those girls right, because who leaves someone sick as a dog with pneumonia and then they drop dead and we never hear a peep from Jennifer about it?
That was weird.
Sketchy as fuck, man. Nope.
I think we have Nick with a question, correct? Is that okay? We let George,
yes. Hi, Nick. We love you.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hi, Nick.
What's going on?
Hey there. Mr. Santos, I have to say, it is wonderful to see you. You are what they did to you, my opinion. It's just, I can't even describe it, but it's really good to see you out here smiling, happy. I'm really glad you're getting this second chance, and I'm praying for you every day. I'm really happy for you. So real quick, I just want to ask a couple of quick questions. Number one, I saw an interview with you. You say you're not going to really get into politics and so on. You talked about Mondani. That was going to be one of my questions. Curious to know what you think about the governor's race next year, where you think Kathy Hochul is going to be, if she's going to win. And then if not, who do you think is going to represent the Republicans? Second thing is, you talked a lot about Alice Marie Johnson. Are you giving any thought to maybe getting involved in some of the pardon czar type stuff? I know you talked about doing prison reform, but love to hear about that. And then last, I think you would be great with your own podcast because you could do this combination of like politics and culture plus your personality. I think you would be amazing. So those are my questions. I think
television also, like I would love to see you on any TV hosting or reality TV, which I know you're very against, but I still I think it would be amazing. I was like, we need Andy and a camera when you get out of prison.
It's very exploitive reality TV, but Nick, I want to say thank you for your kind words. It's people like you, the strangers that I don't know, that give me these kind affirmations that really I owe it to you guys, first of all, for giving me the energy to wake up every day and trying to be a better person and fight for something I believe in. But let's go into politics, right? I gave you my Mandami take, and as far as the gubernatorial race, I think everything New York leads to look like it's going to be Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, the gubernatorial candidate, but it's not official, it's not announced. Again, whoever the candidate is, they are going to have a very good roster of materials to hold Kathy Hochul again put her against and hold her feet to the fire. She has raised taxes on New Yorkers. She has added an additional penalty and punitive tax through the congestion toll for suburban New Yorkers who drive into Manhattan because public transportation is so unsafe. I happen to be one of those New Yorkers who do not trust public transportation because of its unsafety. So now we're added an additional tax, and we're all working class New Yorkers who could already barely deal with our crazy assessments for property taxes, our crazy state and city taxes. But now she adds another layer of taxes that are punitive for those who refuse to ride her decaying LIRR or MTA because the MTA is a disaster. So I think Kathy Hochul is vulnerable. Lee Zeldin in 2022 almost took her out. It was a squeaker. If it wasn't for the 400,000 New Yorkers that we imported to Florida, thanks to Andrew Cuomo and Dr. Fauci's insanities, we would have won that race. So
I am a former New Yorker, born and raised, lived there my whole life, moved to Florida in March of this year. So I get it.
So that's exactly my point. So and I'm telling you, myself as potentially a former New Yorker, soon to be, because of this New York City race, it's a challenge. But I do believe that Mondami, coupled with Hochul, will create an environment that a Republican will have an opportunity since 2006 to put a Republican with common sense back into the governor's mansion in Albany, New York, and actually turn the state around. This is a great state. This is not a liberal state. New York City is a liberal city, but I do want to caution folks and remind them that New York City wasn't liberal up until 2013. Mm-hmm. We had a Republican mayor between Bloomberg, Giuliani. We had a Republican governor for 3 terms up until 2006. We had a majority Republican state Senate in New York until 2018. So it's not like we're this crazy liberal. Look at a New York State map on election night in New York. It's really the 5 boroughs and Westchester County that really does us in, and then all the way upstate in Buffalo. It's not the whole state. So we need to figure out a way to overcompensate these clusters and start speaking to minorities, specifically in NYCHA, to see if they understand that conservatives will put them in a better housing situation and not take it away, but improve their quality of life. So there's a lot we can talk about.
Do you think Elise Stefanik can win? And I really like her.
I love Elise. Elise is a very strong woman, a powerful woman. She is a mom. She's a wife. She's an accomplished legislator. She is an attorney with a Harvard graduate degree. I mean, this isn't just a run-of-the-mill politician. This is a former Bush policy intern and staffer. Like, this is an accomplished woman who has taken every Ivy League school to task in this country on anti-Semitism with a very honorable record, a stellar selfless record to the point that she stepped down from being UN ambassador because she knew it would hurt the Republican majority. We don't have a lot of selfless people in government like that anymore. So I think she'd be phenomenal. I do think she can give Kathy Hochul the run for her money.
Mm-hmm. I, for one, Nick, I don't think that George should leave politics. And maybe you're just feeling raw right now, again, because you've been out of jail less than a week. But people really like you. You're really fun, and you're really normal and straightforward, and you're young. Like, I just don't think you should close yourself off to doing anything in politics, that advocacy or anything else. Because
if I go back to politics on an elected capacity, can I get a bedroom and crash in your house? Because Matt won't let me.
Yes. Yes, you can.
He said, if I go back into politics, you better find somewhere else to live. So.
But one of the things people don't know about George too is he loves babies, so it's good, and is really loves children. So that's a nice.
Loves children,
that's nice. Yes.
So say you have to be a part-time nanny, but that sounds like it'll work out for you.
That's cool. Hey, Uncle George.
Nick, is there anything else you want to ask George? And I agree. I know. And again, we just want to say, like, we're not condoning people committing, any kind of crimes, but we believe in second chances. George is a friend, and I was genuinely happy when we got the news that you were being released. I'm really glad President Trump did it. I'm glad so many people were advocating for you. And I agree with Nick. I thought it was just a hatchet job because you're a MAGA person, a Trump person. And like, I just felt like, again, I talked about the other Jesse Jackson and Michael Grimm and comparisons to comparable cases. And there was a difference. And I think the fact that you were in solitary confinement's insane. It's batshit crazy.
It's insane. Mm-hmm. It's inhumane. And George, you should have seen our group chat once that news came down. We were all screaming and sending each other the red light alert emoji. Like, we were very, very, we could not have been more thrilled. Had we all been together, we probably would have thrown
we were
a party.
Like, the diva came back.
Yes, because it's always diva down, diva down, diva up.
Diva down, no more.
No more diva down. We were so excited. Oh my gosh. Everyone's going to go get Botox in your honor. We're very happy.
Anything else you want to ask, Nick?
Campaign party to celebrate Meghan's.
Yes. Come to LA. I want to go get a drink with you. Let's go.
I wanted to know about his involvement in, working with Alice Marie Johnson and doing all that.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. So as far as Alice Marie Johnson, I'd be humbled, and it'd be an honor to work in the office of the pardon czar's capacity to help look at cases and try to rectify.
You should do that.
I would love that.
That's a good job for you. Yeah.
I would absolutely love to do that, because I think one person can be the figurehead of that job and can do it and dish it out. But I think we would require so many people with in-depth. And look, don't get me wrong. Alice walked the walk and talked the talk. The fact that she had gotten an arbitrary sentence for a marijuana charge, which I think it was like 40 years she was supposed to do. And if it wasn't for Kim Kardashian, she'd still be in prison. So look, I'm not a fan of Kim Kardashian, but I do appreciate today, after being in prison, what Kim Kardashian did for Alice Marie Johnson and what Kim Kardashian does for prison reform. So I would love nothing more in the world to work with Alice and Ed Martin and President Trump's administration. And this isn't a partisan issue with me. If we have a Democrat president and lets me work on that capacity, I'll work for a Democrat, for a Republican. Obviously, I prefer to work for a Republican, but I'm passionate and genuinely fired up. And I think this is going to be pretty much the rest of my life, as far as my activism goes, is going to be focusing on prison reform and troubled youth reform, to make sure that they don't become future prisoners. 250,000 Americans sit today in federal custody. That is the largest percentage of incarcerated nationals by any country in the first world, by far. Absolutely chaotic state of our country, and we need to change that in society. And that starts with fixing inner cities, and it starts with education. So this is something that can be cured before it even happens. And I think it would be lovely to see jails and prisons closing instead of opening new ones.
I love that. Please keep us updated on how we can help you with that in your mission and all that, because this is a countrywide problem. So it's not just localized. Everybody in every corner of this country can be helping work with this advocacy group. So let us know.
It's an epidemic, and it needs a cure.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Nick. As usual, anything you want to say before you say goodbye?
God bless you, George. And
Thank you, Nick.
I'm wishing the best for you in this time.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on, Nick. It's nice to see you. All right, George, you can follow George on Twitter, Mr. Santos NY. Your Instagram is locked. You need to unlock it because we would love to follow everything on Instagram. And anything else you want to plug before we say goodbye, and anything else you want to say. And I just want to thank you for your time. I really, when we reached out to you to come on, I was like, if he can't, it's totally fine. I mean, you're
so busy.
being thrust back into media so quickly. So I really appreciate you taking the time today to talk to all of us.
I'd never say no to you because
oh my God.
I told you why. The first president of the United States I've ever voted for was your dad. It was my first
nice. Thank you.
Big John McCain fan. You know this too. I've told you so many times.
Thank you.
And to have the privilege of you calling you a friend is absolutely an honor. Thank you so much for having me. And Miranda, thank you so much for being here too. And for guys, just the love and the support and all the kind comments coming from the chat. I mean, I'm trying to simultaneously read. And yes, the Diva is back and there's definitely going to be Botox. But I should totally wait for Meghan to be able to join. So
just like 3 more months.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't do Botox, but she'll come and watch.
I might be ready for it now. You guys can come with me.
You heard it here first. So excited. Oh
George can come with me, and you, Miranda, and George can come for my first
I will
one.
fly to DC to come.
I'm getting old, almost 41.
Yes.
George, and if you want to come back anytime to talk about anything, if you want to talk about fun stuff, politics, whatever, actually, as we get closer to the governor's races and coming up, obviously, on pushing up to the next election, please come on. We love your take, obviously, and all the stuff in New York. So we'd love to talk to you again. And I hope to see you when you're in DC next.
Yeah, next time. We'll have a good old time.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. You can follow George on Twitter, Mr. Santos NY, and we hope to see you soon. And again, congratulations. We're really happy you're back.
Thank you, Meghan. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you, everybody watching. Appreciate it.
Bye, George. Love you.
Bye.
All right, that's our show, and we're so happy to have George back and on, and hopefully we can have him back again soon to talk politics. And like I said, I saw some of the comments about having George on, but we believe in second chances. He's clearly, remorseful and changing his life, and
everyone's happy. He's a great show. Good. Everybody's super thrilled we had him on. And
90% of people I meet in politics are boring. Stuffy, and when I first met George, I was like, he's such a breath of fresh air. He's so different and so fun. We have Annabelle update, but we are out of time, so we're gonna have to apologize. We're gonna have to do Annabelle on Wednesday, but I appreciate you bringing her.
She did
bringing Annabelle to Las Vegas.
Yes. Annabelle in Vegas.
And I appreciate you doing this from Las Vegas, Miranda. Not hungover. You look totally fine.
Oh my gosh, we went to Peter Luger last night for dinner, and it was
fancy.
Like the best dinner I've had in such a long time. It was amazing. So
a fancy restaurant. That's like a fancy. That's where it
was like just Heather and me, and I took her out on a date night because we've been best friends since we were 10 years old. So it was very special. Yes, it was a fabulous meal. Oh my God! If anybody has a chance to go, Peter Luger.
It's a very famous restaurant. Thank you all so much. And thank you again to George for coming on. It was a pleasure to see him. And we will be back again on Wednesday with live show. Oh, also thank you all so much for watching our Cheryl Hines interview. It's doing so well. You had such amazing feedback to her, up there with Usha Vance and Tulsi and all these amazing people we've had to interview, but people are really responding to it. We loved Cheryl. I loved interviewing her. I had the best time, and we are so happy you guys are enjoying it too. So thank you. And like I said, anything else you want to say before we say goodbye other than Diva?
Regarding Cheryl Hines, to anybody bothering me about why didn't you put it up as a podcast, I made a judgment call. I wanted that to be a 2-way exclusive. If you want to watch it, go watch the video because it's important to visualize it and see it. So watch that.
Yeah, we had hair and makeup for that. So professional.
And everybody looks absolutely stunning and gorgeous. We paid a lot of money for the studio space. So no, don't listen to it.
Gotta watch it.
Go watch it.
Thank you. So good job, Miranda. All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching.